Thank you all for coming today. So we are here talking about promoting Member Club events using Golf Hub. For anyone who doesn't know me, my name is Ben Wolf. I'm the Senior Product Manager at Golf Genius Software, and I mostly take care of the tournament management product, but I also work with the Golf Hub product. We'll go over today, we'll do an overview of what is Golf Hub, for anyone who doesn't know. We'll take a look at the different use cases there. We'll talk about how clubs can use it, how associations can use it, and we'll, toward the end, talk about our newly launched global Golf Hub. And we'll have a summary at the end that kind of wraps everything up and says, okay, what's that mean for clubs? What's that mean for associations? So who here has actually used a Golf Hub page or an aggregated hub or anything like that? Okay, a few people. So Golf Hub enables golf clubs to publish events and leagues on public or private hubs where golfers can search, find, pay, and view results online. Register, pay, and view results online. So this is the vision we've had for Golf Hub. It actually started over 4 years ago. Almost a couple years ago, we launched the initial Golf Hub features, and they're part of TM. And now here recently, we launched the global Golf Hub, continuing in this vision. The way to think about what our vision for Golf Hub is we believe anybody should be able to go to the various search engine, Google, Yahoo, type in leagues near me, and the first result is Golf Hub, and it zooms into their location and shows them the leagues in their area within a 50-mile radius. That's what we're working towards. So all of your member clubs and you are already using TM for your events, registration, payment processing. We are looking to roll up those events that are publicly available. Obviously, if it's a private event, you don't want it as a global hub. But those publicly available events to aggregated hubs that you guys can create and our global hub. So Golf Hub creates pages for private clubs to publish their outings in public hubs, but also privately publishing their member events into a private hub. Public courses can use Golf Hub to publish all of their publicly available, open to the public leagues, events at their facility, and using Golf Hub to try and drive additional traffic to those events and additional players. And corporate and charity events, almost all corporate and charity events could use a few more players, a few more dollars. So we definitely want to focus on that group as well through mostly the public courses, because that's where they play, and try to drive players to these corporate and charity events. So Golf Hub page, this is a Golf Hub page. An event has a Golf Hub, very easily you can create a page for your event. Think of it as a digital flyer, a landing page for your event. Has the name of the event, the date, where it is, a description you can put in. Some people upload a flyer in that location. A schedule of events down towards the bottom. You have sponsors that you can upload and hyperlink. Basic information on the right about what are we playing. Click to view the scorecard for the event. It's a single landing page. It just has all of the basic information for the event and a way to register for the event. I'll note that the registration has a basic Golf Hub registration component that clubs can use. That Golf Hub registration, all that's captured is first name, last name, email, phone number, handicap ID. There's no custom fields. This is not TM Club Premium registration. This is very basic. But it seamlessly works with TM Club Premium registration. So if you are on a premium account and you have premium registration enabled, when the golfer clicks that button, they're taken straight into the portal, straight into the premium registration process. It's a completely seamless integration. These individual Golf Hub pages can be rolled up into hubs. So this is a club hub. Every TM account has, by default, a club hub, and all their events roll up into that. They can create other hubs. So they can create a men's event hub, a women's event hub, an outing hub, and they can publish, private club could publish their men's and women's hubs internally on a password-protected website, while they could share on social media their outing hub. These hubs that each account has only roll up events in their account into their hubs. But we have aggregated hubs as well. You, as the parent of member clubs in TM, have the ability to have your member clubs events roll up into an aggregated hub. We will talk a lot more about this later. This is a case we had from Idaho that used it this past year. Caleb is going to come up and tell us all about it. And now we have the global hub. So just launched recently, golfhub.golfgenius.com is now a publicly available website. Anybody can go there. They can search by their location or an event name or a club name or date, and they're taken into a map view. I'm zoomed out showing you the whole world, but it zooms into your location when you're looking at it in a 50-mile radius. And there are thousands, we'll look at it in a second, thousands of events on here. But obviously the events continue to be played, so it's an inventory thing, right? So right now the inventory is about as low as it gets for the year, and we're starting to work back up. So that's our global hub. And we'll talk about how events are published to these as well. When you create your Golf Hub page for your event, whether you're a club or an association event, you publish it and you have the option to publish it to hubs, your own hubs. You could, if you are a child account of an association, you would see the Idaho Golf Association Tournament Book Hub. You would have the option to check that box, and you'll see the global Golf Hub that Golf Genius runs. So almost 2 years, I think, some of the Golf Hub features have been launched as features in tournament management. We've had almost 2,300 different customers try that. That's pretty good out of about 9,000 or 10,000 active customers. So at least people are looking at it. Those customers have been 41% private, 30 public, and everybody else falls into our other category. We have found and have been pleasantly surprised that the private clubs have found a lot more use out of it than we expected, and the TM Club Premium users have found a lot more use out of it than we necessarily expected. Remember, the Golf Hub features are part of TM Club, the basic software, and TM Club Premium. TM Club got access for the first time to a basic registration component. This is, before now with Golf Hub, we never had any type of event registration in TM Club. But now with Golf Hub, they have that basic event registration with first name, last name, email, phone number, handicap ID, and as well as payment processing capabilities through Stripe. As I said, our premium customers are finding a lot of value out of Golf Hub. A lot of them is simply a way to put your events into a directory of sorts. It just is a lot easier to use and looks a lot nicer than our traditional directories for them. So they're able to just have a link on their website that takes their golfers into a hub. Those 2,300 customers have created over 18,000 Golf Hub pages. And at first, that seems really impressive, but we run over 1 million events a year in TM. So 18,000 in the last couple of years, just a drop in the bucket. There's a lot of potential here still for our customers to use Golf Hub much, much more. 79% of those events have been, or 79% of those pages are for events, 12% for leagues, and 9% for clinics. We offer an option in a Golf Hub page to say this is a clinic. And so clubs are able to create a clinic hub where their group instruction is able to be listed on a nice looking hub. So registration. As far as registration goes, 20% of those pages have no registration whatsoever. They have simply created the page. It is a digital flyer, a cover page maybe for their premium site, for their premium website. No registration at all. Some of those, they're probably just taking registrations like they normally have. Email it in, cash and check at the door, that kind of thing. 53% are using online registration, but with no payments, no payment processing. So this is a lot of the private clubs with member events because they're going to do a member charge later. But we do have 27% of those pages set up with online registration and with payments, whether it's Golf Hub's basic registration or premium registration. The golfers that are registering into these events are using the Golf Hub, or the hubs and the pages. There's been over 100,000 unique golfers that have registered into events through Golf Hub. Those 100,000 have registered a total of 260,000 players into events in Golf Hub. I believe this is the last year. So a lot of use. We would love to see more. But the total entry fees for those events totals up to about $34 million. That's a significant percentage considering we process something like a couple $100 million through all of TNO. So a good chunk of it is now coming through Golf Hub pages. And last in the metrics here, this is just a Google Analytics to show you where the players are accessing Golf Hub from. It's not just the US, it's everywhere. The darker the blue, the more players, but you can see US, Canada, UK, all of Europe, Australia, all the countries have started using it, and the players are diving in. All right, so I want to give a couple examples of clubs here. So this is, everything I'm going to show you is real examples. We haven't made any of this up. This is White Hawk Country Club. This is it says Country Club, but I believe it's a public course near Chicago. They created this club hub to showcase their events to the public. More than 50 pages created, and they had a total of over 1,400 golfers registered through their hub. They have taken advantage, as being a TM Club customer, of the basic Golf Hub registration tool. So again, you'll hear me talk a lot about benefits to your member clubs and value to your member clubs. This is a tool that can drive a lot of more value for a member club through their relationship with you. This next club is from Rivershore up in BC. And Rivershore, they created their hub and had 33 events, 1,800 plus golfers. This is a private club. So they're on TM Premium, leveraging premium registration through Golf Hub. So there are lots of different ways we've seen people use Golf Hub, and obviously it's fun for us to build a tool and then see how people use it. And people use it in ways we never thought they would, but it's great to see these clubs having success with it. More about associations and what hopefully all of you are here to talk about, which is promoting your member club events. I'm going to ask Caleb to come up from Idaho. He's going to talk about an issue that they were looking to solve and how at the beginning of last season they talked to us about using an Aggregated Hub to solve this.
Thank you. Yeah, in Idaho, many of you may have scenarios before where you had like a tournament book. We had a tournament book. It's actually, there's a slide of it here in just a minute, but we had what was called our tournament book, where clubs would send us their schedules for the year, and we were spending dollars. We were spending thousands of dollars every year to publish a list of tournaments so that we could hand it out to members anytime we wanted to. So the members would come to us every year. They got used to this piece of, yeah, I just want to be able to see what tournaments are available. And so whenever Golf Hub came out, it was immediately, we saw the Aggregated Hub and saw what that could be. It could essentially replace this tournament book for us. We have customers coming to us all the time. Where do I play? How do I get there? All of those things. And it just fit really easily. So what we ended up doing was we took that resource and we just took it to our clubs and said, look, we're on Golf Genius. Most of you are on this. We're going to try something different and take this thing digital. And what we will do is we will put this Aggregated Hub on our website where any person that comes to our website can get to member club events and see what's going on in their area. And so there's a couple of different ways you can see it on there. You can see it in a list view by date. And it literally says, this is the name of the event and this is the course it's being hosted at. So we can do it that way, or it's got the map view, which is really cool. If they're just looking around in their area, any course that's published an event to their area, they can click on it and figure out what courses are around. So this book really kind of helped us do two things. A, it gave us a better connection to our clubs, that we're providing the service from a member club standpoint, and it also gave us a way to market golf and playing of golf to the individual member themselves. You know, we talk a lot about, in our organization, about championships really only hit 2% of our members. What are we going to do for the other 98%? And this was a really good avenue for us. And so we were able to get rid of that tournament book completely. Anybody do like trade shows or things of that nature where you go to like a golf show and represent any of that kind of stuff? We did, that was a place we always passed out our tournament book. Instead of doing our tournament book this last year, we just passed out business cards with a QR code on it. And that QR code, they just followed it directly to our website, and they could immediately see all the golf events that were in their area. It was so successful as well that we actually started putting our championships in that schedule as well. It's another place for us to market our championships, and it'll still show up in the same format that it shows up along in the calendar with other club events that are going on. And so it gave us a place, one more place to touch the customer, so that if no other reason, they can actually just see, hey, the state AM's coming up this week. Pretty cool. So
you chose to have a single hub with your events and all the member club events.
We did.
Very well could also have your own event hub separate from.
Correct, yeah. So, you know, and most of us have used directories and registrations for our championships. We actually made the shift this year, and you can do it either way. There's two different ways to do that. There are different looks and different feels to them. We actually pushed on our championship schedule this year to be out of Golf Hub instead of out of directories, because we can link the registrations no matter what, and they can take payments no matter what. And so we actually use Golf Hub, primarily just because, I mean, you described it a little bit differently than I described it. The way I describe Golf Hub, whenever you look at your Club Hub page or your Association Hub page, it just looks like a website. It looks a little bit more pictographic, visually pleasing when you look at it. That's the way I like to see it. And so that's kind of the reason we put our championship schedule on it. And we saw some pretty good results there.
Yeah. I'll talk about some of the numbers we saw, but I know you mentioned, as I've talked to other associations, they've had concerns about maintaining it and keeping up with what if there is an event I don't want on there, things like that. How much effort had to go into that? There's
really not a ton of effort. Once the club gets trained to use it, which is very small, it's really not that difficult. Most of them are already running Golf Genius events anyway, and so it's really, okay, here's a piece that you can use to advertise it. Usually I had a couple of, for the most difficult golf professional who's not tech savvy at all, I could get on a 30-minute phone call with them and show them how to do one, and then they could transfer the knowledge from there.
Right, for some people wanted to be in the tournament book, but hadn't ever used TM.
Yeah, absolutely. We had some of that where they wanted to be on the digital platform, but they didn't use Golf Genius, they didn't use TM. We could actually do that for them, and they still don't have to use Golf Genius to run the event if they don't want to. Now, what that actually translated to is that we had probably 5 clubs that once they got onto the hub piece, they went the other direction and said, well, we might as well be running it in Golf Genius, because we created the event in Golf Genius, and then we created the hub for it. Well, I mean, now that's all left to learn is to run it through Golf Genius. So we've actually added a few clubs to our Golf Genius TM association profile just because they learned to use the hub piece and saw that advertising value from that. There was another piece too, I hadn't talked about this. Creating relationships with the PGA professionals in your area that are based upon that we are here to work together, not separate. We've seen a rise gradually in the number of PGA professionals that have clinic sets that they've set up in Golf Hub. It's a way for them individually, from a club standpoint, to advertise that they have junior clinics in spring break, and that they have, kind of the 9 and wines. They've got, they have all sorts of different things, but even from a clinic standpoint, lesson standpoint, they can monetize and teach lessons and have a place to advertise it where it does get seen and it's still in the same schedule. So if a customer, a member or non-member, gets on our website and they just search the clinic setup, they can find clinics in their area and go figure out, oh yeah, I can go join this one. So that's something that we're starting to see a little bit of a rise in as well.
Yeah, I tell you, if you want to go to idahoga.org and check this out, it's on their homepage. I'll tell you, click to the past tab. There's not a lot of upcoming events in Idaho right now, but click to the past tab and you'll see the couple hundred events that were on there this year. Anything else you want to add?
No, I don't think so. I mean, I can't stress enough really that it really helped us have a better relationship with our PGA professionals. I mean, any PGA professionals in the room, you know that marketing of events, especially from a public direction, you know, Ben showed a lot where private clubs have adopted it, but the public section of it, you know, currently your PGA professionals probably are trying to use Canva and other tools to market their events. This, in Golf Hub, it can actually do some of that for you in real quick, you know, just spit out the information once you've got the hub set up. And so it creates a way for professionals to run events because they're good at running events and not have to do as much of the marketing side. And it saves them time, it saves them money, and it saves them the capability that, you know, I don't have to spend a whole bunch of time marketing our events. It's going to do itself a little bit more. I can go give lessons or, you know, talk to members or do that kind of stuff a little bit more often.
Yeah, that's great. Yeah, one of the features I think you're alluding to is the Flyers feature.
Yes.
It's a feature in TM of Golf Hub, and if you haven't tried that out, it is an image creation editor like Canva, but we have gone through using our marketing team and created something like 15 or 20 really nice looking flyer templates that have, you know, data fields that fill in automatically and things like that for the event name and date and that kind of thing. And they all have a QR code right on them. That QR code just takes the person scanning it right to the Golf Hub page so they can register.
Yeah, that use of QR codes is really helpful as well. Promote it straight to social media with a QR code, get in this event, get in this clinic. It really saves our golf professionals time.
Great. Thanks, Caleb. Appreciate it. Some of the numbers that we saw with the Idaho Aggregated Hub here. So 57 total clubs created at least one Golf Hub page for a total of 212 event pages that were published. That resulted in a total of 14,600 golfers being registered into those 200 events, and $1.2 million in entry fees flowing into the clubs. It's important to remember in TM as well as Golf Hub, the revenue from entry fees and everything, just like your accounts, is set up with the club's strike fee, or in your case an AFS or strike account, goes straight into their account. So none of that's funneling through us, but we're facilitating that, and there's a lot more potential there as well. We saw 32,000 total views of the Idaho Aggregated Hub, with 3,500 of those being unique people. And the bulk of that, 3,000, came directly from idahoga.org. So there were 600 people or so that found it organically some other way through a search. So as a reminder, this is what the current Aggregated Hub looks like. Just want to show this one more time because I'm going to show you what we believe the next version of this could look like. So today, there's a banner, there's some text, and then the events that come from your clubs. What we envision for the next version of this, right now I'm calling 2.0, Aggregated Hubs 2.0, is a much more specifically branded version for our association partners. So this looks more like what we call our global Golf Hub, golfhub.golfgs.com, but is completely customized for the association using it. So we've done a mock-up here with Idaho, and Idaho provided the images on the carousel, the logo, the colors, their partners, things like that. We want to make it look as authentic to your association as possible. So from here, golfers can click through. It's still branded in your color. We're not just putting orange all over the place. And it is co-branded with our name up at the top corner, but we want it to look like an extension of your website. So golfers can come in, they can search the events in your area. It'll zoom into the area where your events are. They can click on the event and go all the way into the Golf Hub event page and remain in the branding of your aggregated hub. So this, I'll stress, is a mock-up today, but we are already starting to build this out. In early 2025, we hope to get this built and launched. We're working with other associations and federations around the world on this type of hub. We're working with England Golf, South Africa, trying to get this type of highly branded version of Golf Hub, an aggregated hub, into their hands. So real quickly, some information about the Global Golf Hub. So like I mentioned earlier, this is a public website. We are starting to market directly to consumer, trying to drive eyeballs to this website, and you'll see as we get into 2025 that effort really ramp up. So part of the Global Golf Hub is when your member clubs are publishing events up to your aggregated hub, they can also publish them to the Global Hub. Not sure what's happening with the screen. And they can also publish them up to the Global Hub, where the full effort of the Golf Genius marketing team is behind it, trying to drive additional eyeballs to those events. Any event that is on an aggregated hub can also roll up to the Global Hub. So this is, as I showed earlier, this is the Golf Genius, or the Global Golf Hub, golfhub.golfgenius.com. And the map view, obviously, when you are a player accessing this, it will zoom right into your location and show you the events right around you. So this is really just launched in the last month, and we are continuing to add features to this and innovate on it, as well as all of the Golf Hub features. So what does this mean for our various customers? To start with TM Club. All the Golf Hub features are available on TM Club, so including registration with a basic registration with payment processing. And we can provide TM Club to your member clubs with this huge benefit to allow them to not only, as Caleb said, not just list it on the hub, but actually start deriving more value out of TM Club. And as all of us have seen over the years, they start using TM Club, and then they start running a lot of events, and then they want premium features, and the cycle goes from there. But we believe on TM Club that this is a huge, huge value for those customers. For TM Club Premium, showcasing all their events and leagues in a public or private hub. A lot of them are doing that today already. They've really taken to it. Create these really great looking landing pages as a cover page for their premium portal, and they still have all of their normal widgets with stats and course statistics and results and pairings and everything, and integrates completely seamlessly with premium registration. That was something really important to us that we made sure we had right away to make sure our premium clubs could get all the value out that they could. For our TM Association customers, you guys, showcase your events in the hub, as well as your member club events. And I keep using the word events. Events, leagues, whatever they're wanting to publish into the Golf Hub. Really encourage everyone to think of this as a member benefit, the aggregated hub as a member benefit. Even if you haven't run like a tournament book in the past or anything, if you create an aggregated hub and you start telling your member clubs about it, there will be clubs that find great value in that and start publishing their own events up to it. So we really encourage everyone to check it out and to give it a try. Just by creating your aggregated hub and going and playing with it, you'll see events in there already because your member club events have been, by default, feeding up into your hub. So you'll see some in there, especially if you click on the past. You'll see a lot of events there. But then you can use your marketing power to drive people to your events and to your member club events. Like Caleb said, the other 98%, right? There is your core AGA event audience, right? But that's a very small amount of the golfers you guys touch on a daily basis. So whether you know it or not, you have a powerful marketing tool with your member clubs that you have these relationships with and you already hold credibility with. And then for what it means for Golf Genius, we will continue to invest in our marketing efforts and ramp those up. And as we do with all of our products, we will continue to invest in innovation, new features, and as well as maintaining the infrastructure necessary for these types of products. So we are definitely committed to Golf Hub, and we're very excited about it. Some key takeaways, if you take nothing else away, take these. Golf Hub is already being used by your member clubs. We saw that nearly 2,300 of our TM accounts have already tried it out. The aggregated hubs really will add value to your member clubs. And I know AGAs are always looking at what else can we do to drive value for the membership, for the handicap, not just handicapping, right? That's the tip of the iceberg of what you guys provide. So the aggregated hubs are another item that can add more value to your member clubs. And then the global hub, we will continue to invest in, and we will continue to back and try and drive as many eyeballs as we can to the global hub. With that, I have time for questions or any comments. We have a microphone, or you can just yell. Any questions about Golf Hub or the aggregated hubs or Idaho's case? All right.
I have a question.
Yes.
Okay, so for clubs not using Golf Genius, what's the best way to collect their event information? Is it just like send out an email and gather the details through like a Google sheet, or?
Yeah, Caleb, I think you actually worked with them to get them set up on TM Club,
yeah, so,
right?
I mean, so the contract with Golf Genius basically states that if they don't run 100 rounds in a year, that they don't actually officially own a Golf Genius account. So you can actually start an active Golf Genius account. It actually starts with them having a club account. You can create a club account for them. And then once they have a club account, they create an event in that club account. They don't actually have to run the event.
Right.
Once they create the event, then they create the hub for it. So they actually still all do it. So we gave 3, 4, 5 different clubs that didn't have Golf Genius accounts access to Golf Genius. And as long as they don't run it, they're not actually using the TM account. All they're doing is putting the stuff on the advertisement Aggregated Hub.
Right. And as you found, some of them do actually just start using it.
Yeah.
Now once they see what's available.
But so they still have access to it regardless if they want it. I mean, we've made it available to every club. If they want it, we'll create an account and we'll go.
You certainly could create events in your own association account on behalf of clubs and publish them.
Sure.
Yes, you certainly could.
If we have a group that does not have a GIN club yet, or they don't have a GIN number,
Gotcha.
they're not able to create a new Golf Genius.
Right.
So that's kind of like, we kind of have that in
Yeah.
between phase, and so
Right.
I'd like to use Golf Hub to introduce them to the product, and hopefully then they'll create their GIN group and add their members, but it's just kind
Yeah,
of
that-
taking time.
And so that's exactly how we have started viewing Golf Hub, is it can be this introductory to TM. Just simply create your digital flyer, right? Just event promotion and marketing. And then use that as a segue into the TM Club product or eventually into the premium product.
So that's a really, really important point. I hope everyone can hear me. We've all learned, as you've learned over the years, that TM is a sophisticated toolbox with a substantial learning curve. And when you expose your clubs to it, clubs that have never used it before, it can be daunting. We've learned that. You've learned that, right? Some people dive in and they get over the hump. Others are just sort of, I just don't have time for that. I was going to keep doing what I always do. Paper, pencil, cash, and checks, scoreboards on the wall, and so forth, right? So what we've learned here is that showing people how to use Golf Hub to set up a great-looking landing page, they want to set up online registration and payments, it's very easy for them to learn. Caleb has shared the story about how three or four clubs were very quickly able to get up and running on the hub, gathering registrations, gathering online payments in a secure way. That's a useful tool, even if they never use Golf Genius to run leagues and events. And as Caleb said, if they go no further, you don't actually pay for it. They're getting to use it for free, and you're providing another layer of value to them through their AGA member benefits, right? Why would we do that? Well, because we believe what will happen is exactly what Caleb experienced. What will happen is once they're over that hump and they feel like, wow, that wasn't so bad, and now I've gotten some value, I'm now psychologically invested in, I can do the next thing. I can learn the next thing. I would like to run a tournament or a league. And we can already see that happening. So, Ben has his three key takeaways. I would say that's the number one takeaway, which is training people, training clubs on golf club is a much lower bar that helps them to adopt it, which helps you deliver more benefits to your member clubs, which is your mission, right? Or one of your missions anyway. So,
question up front.
Yeah, so for the club versions, registration, if I remember correctly, like fields for like during registration, where the field is limited, right? It's like
First name, last name, email, phone, and handicap ID.
so we had. Was there any thought of adding, allowing them to maybe add a couple extra field, maybe a limited number of registrations, be a junior tour that was looking to use the golf club registration, but maybe if they wanted, parent guardian information.
Right, so they would need a premium account.
Right.
Right.
So is there any thought maybe like add that and allow that?
So at the current time, we don't plan to add any other fields to Golf Hub registration. It is a very basic form of registration for a basic product, right? That doesn't have all the custom fields and everything. Caleb?
Did you say you guys were going to be doing the marketing of the global golf hub where it's, if anybody gets on a Google search, they put in and say, golf events near me, and this would be one of the top websites that pulls up?
We are working on that. We're working on all the search engine optimization that needs done for that. On the back end of all of our Golf Hub pages, there has to be all this metadata that drives the pages to the top of the search results. So we're working on that, as well as other marketing efforts like AdWord, keyword, things like that. We'll be ramping that up in 2025. You'll start seeing. Any other questions or any experiences anybody has tried using it or? All right.
Ben, can you go back to the Idaho version 2?
Yes.
I would love to hear Caleb's comments that I stepped out for a minute. But this is what you're seeing here. This is not what appears on Idaho's website today, right? But this is what it will look like going forward. So Caleb, what are you're seeing this for the first time here this week, right?
Well, and I've talked with Golf Genius a lot about this stuff. One of the things I actually didn't like about it right at the beginning was that it was all orange, and one of our colors is an orange. And, so this look to me looks way better. It's branded our association. It has a look and feel. It's a little bit more like our website. Those are our partners right there at the bottom. It gives us more marketing capability and more advertising space to sell and things of that nature. So I like this a whole lot better than even the current setup.
Yeah, and we believe it's really important to have that authentic imagery from you to create that connection with the golfer who's coming to the portal, to the hub.
That's very important. The other thing we've learned is that if we ask an operator to upload photos to go on the page, oftentimes they don't upload great-looking photos. And when you don't upload great-looking photos, it doesn't look very good. But when you have, go back to the previous one, when you have great-looking imagery that's locally authentic, it creates an energy, it draws people in more, they're going to spend more time at it, they're more likely to actually use it. The only way we can achieve this is by working with you guys, the last mile, because every one of your markets is unique and looks different than the state next to you or the folks around the other side of the country. If we can provide great-looking imagery working with you like this, and provide a little bit of a library to those operators so when they create a page, they can pick from a little library of like 15 or 20 or 25 locally authentic images of golf, which may or may not be their own facility, it doesn't really matter as long as it looks authentic.
Right,
Then
these
all they have to
thumbnails.
do is take a quick look and say, oh, I want that one. So what are we doing? We make it really easy for them to create great-looking digital pages that compete with other stuff that we all as consumers expect to see on the internet, as opposed to a bunch of crappy pages, right? Sorry, exaggerated. But if we can give them tools that make it easy to create, like this, good-looking page, then they're going to use it. And if we can create a landing page, an aggregated page that we're working with you guys, let's go back. Not that one. I think this is the most important slide on the deck, right? This doesn't exist yet, but it will exist next year for Idaho. And it can exist for each of your regions, right? But it's going to require some engagement from you guys to work with us to create this. Not a lot, just a little, right? And we're really excited about it. We're also doing this outside the U.S. We have similar mock-ups for England and other federations around the world because we think the model makes a ton of sense.
You said beginning of next year, would it be ready for seasonal associations with our tournament registration starting in March?
I don't have a specific time, or I don't have a timeline that's that specific yet. We are beginning the development effort on it now and getting it rolling. We hope to have as much as we can ready for next season.
The way I would look at it is if one or two of you raise your hand and you said you want that to work in time for March, we're going to work with you to make it work.
Yeah.
If not 50 of you raised all 50 AGAs who said, oh, we want to do it, that might not work, right? So my message to you is if you like what you're seeing, if you like what we're accomplishing here, what we accomplished with Idaho this year, and the version 2 that you see on the screen right now, you want to get started, well then talk to us. And we'll get started with you now talking about what has to happen. Most of what you see up there already exists. The ability to create the pages, access to TM Club, right? The automatic aggregation. The new stuff you're seeing here is the marketing layer, the photo imagery, the sponsors, right? So we have a little bit of work to make this possible, but we would love to get a couple more success stories. Right? We love so when Caleb stands in front of the room and tells this story, that's 1,000 times better, infinitely better than us telling that story. We would love to get a couple more success stories because we think this is really useful to member clubs. And at scale, it solves a problem. It solves a lot of problems, actually. And the number one is, hey, where are the leagues near me? I just moved to Richmond, Virginia. I can't join a private club. It costs too much, or the waiting lists are 20 years long, right? I want to find a league near me because I know that's the best way to meet golfers and find a game in the future. I can't go into Google and type leagues near me. If I do, I get a bunch of garbage. At scale, type in leagues near me, I get a map, I start looking at the pins, I find something close by, I see the page, I sign up, I pay, I'm in the roster, and I'm in that league. So I said the other day, I boil this all down to this is no longer a technology problem. This is no longer, oh, we have to build this stuff. Yeah, we have a little bit more work to do here. This is now a human problem, an adoption problem, right? A communication problem of AGAs getting bored and saying, yeah, this is great, let's do it. Communicating it to clubs because there's benefits to clubs, right? And taking it out to scale. The tools are here, now it's a human problem.
Yeah, again, we will do what we can to not only market to consumers to bring them to the global hub, but continue to tell our customers, joint customers, the TM Club and premium customers about it. But as I mentioned earlier, the credibility you have going directly to your member clubs goes a lot further. Also mentioned for some of the large associations, these aggregated hubs, you can create to have whichever clubs you want roll up with them. So you could create a regional version. So Southern California, you could have a San Diego version, right? You could have an LA version. Or you could simply have one big aggregated hub of the entire area. Any other questions or comments? Can't see the very back. All right. Well, thank you very much. I appreciate it.